Autoflowering strains are super popular in the cannabis community, and today we're going to be chatting about some of the common misconceptions that people have when they are looking at autoflower cannabis strains. We're going to be chatting to Luke, and we're going to be exploring a couple different points related to the super popular style of growing cannabis. For you, Luke, what's also handling so much grow support and dealing with so many different clients on a daily basis? You obviously know how popular autoflowers are. Tell me a little bit about one of the common, or maybe the biggest misconception that people have when dealing with or questioning about autoflowers.
I think a lot of the time people ask the strength. Does the autoflower compare to your normal feminized photoperiod seed, or growing from regular packs? And I think with where breeding and stuff is going nowadays, they're hitting the bar very, very high, and getting it sort of on par with some of the strains that are doing exceptionally high test results. So I think that is a misconception, is that they're not as good as your normal photoperiod seeds, and that's I don't think is the case. However, it is very important to make sure that you know the lineage, do a little bit of research of where you're getting your genetics from, and that always helps as well.
Yeah, I think that's a big point there. Quality of genetics, once again, same as with the photoperiod. You're starting with quality genetics going in, you're going to have quality end results coming out. If you're not using quality, you're not going to get quality. But that being said, even with some quality, you can sometimes mess it up.
Yeah, 100%.
As people know, or our viewers know, from a lot of the content we've put out, a majority of the sort of indoor growing that we like to do is clone-based, sort of research-based, and with autoflowers, you're getting very differentiating results. But they also, obviously, with an autoflower being able to flower out no matter the light cycle, and us having such an incredibly long summer period in South Africa, if you start planting your autoflowers early on, you can get really, really good results outdoors, because you have super long days, loads of sun, and it can flower out nice and early. So I personally prefer growing autoflowers outdoors. And I do think it is something that more people should be looking at, specifically in South Africa, but I also suppose globally as well. And also, I suppose if you're in some of those European regions where you have an incredibly short summer period, once again, an autoflower makes sense growing outdoors, because say you've got 3 months of summer only, you can still complete it within those 3 months without it going too early into flower. So yeah, I personally say outdoors, yes. Indoors, I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff online. I mean, look at the stuff that some of the autos Mr. Canucks has done, and things like that. But yeah, I personally feel outdoors is the way to go, specifically in South Africa. So we chatted a little bit on the first point about the sort of potency, Luke. Quality-wise, on some of the sort of flower and the end results, are you getting sort of beautiful large nugs with autos, or is it sort of are they still sort of underperforming in the sense of sort of look, feel, bag appeal, taste? Tell me a little bit about some of your personal experiences with autos.
Again, to reiterate, I think it's got a lot to do with your genetics and choosing that, but then it falls a lot on you as the grower. As well, autoflowers are finicky at times, so we've got to monitor that. But the end results for me, I've had some amazing results. Very, very tasty bud, structure, sort of exactly the same. If you research the lineage of it and check what the mothers were producing, you can see those characteristics pulling through. So the guys are hitting the nail on the head, and also growing sort of 5 seeds at a time. It's really enjoyable to get sort of that uniformity across from it, that I enjoy from the autoflowers as well, and also being able to sort of get more plant mass per square meter, call it that, in faster time. So you're growing more bud in a quicker amount of time, which is great.
So do you have any standout autos that come to mind that you've grown in the past? For me personally, it would be the Girl Scout Cookies auto that I've smoked in the past. And at the moment, I'm growing a banana blaze auto, which is looking like it's going to be probably my best ever. Do you have any standouts that you can mention, Luke?
I like the blueberry auto. I also like the Charlotte's Angel CBD,
Oh,
which
nice.
is really, really nice as well. Yeah. Those I think are my two standouts. I've also tried a couple of the Divine Genetics as well, which has been really, really cool. I think one of my first dabbles on an autoflower indoors was with a Divine, and I got very, very, very good results on that. So I was a very stoked young grower. A new grower comes to us and they ask, what do you suggest? Do you think autoflowers are good for beginner growers, or would you say they're more lined for the experienced grower? And then what sort of advantages would you say an experienced grower has over a beginner in starting off with autoflowers?
So I generally, personally, once again, I'll just come back to sort of experience and also, consulting with a lot of people. I'd say that autoflowers are more for an intermediate to advanced grower. Now, a lot of intermediate advanced growers may watch this and laugh at that point. But, there's certain complexities to an autoflower to getting the most out of it. It's a completely different grow style you're facing. So, it does, you do need to know the plant in order to get the maximum out of it. That being said, some people may have grown an auto for the first time ever and had amazing results. But after really trying hard on them for the past sort of 5 years, I still find myself making mistakes on the autos, and I still personally feel they are difficult to grow. So that's also why once again, for me, I found the outdoor environment has been sort of better for the autos. I also think what I'm going to do this winter is I'm going to do quite a bit of autos in my little tunnel that I have, and see what kind of results we can get in the winter period, and really test them quite hard with some of the ones that did well in the summer. But there are complexities to an auto. You're dealing with a limited lifespan. You have 3 months, let's say, exactly, maybe 3 months, 1 week, or something like that. So if you have issues, there's minimal time to fix the issues. Whereas if you're dealing with a photo period and you've got issues, you have time to fix those issues. You've got a 5-6 month veg period, outdoors or indoors, you can just stretch it along however long you want. So, that aspect of being able to identify pests, IPM, if you don't understand these specific points of growing, you could really lose out hard. And I mean, when you look at the sort of the value of genetics, it's pretty much similar across the board. So you can have massive losses if something does go wrong, and I think you can be disappointed quite easily if you do go into an autoflower grow and then you don't get the results you want, because I think it's the name Autoflower that gives you the perception that autoflowers are easy. It's going to flower. The first time I heard autoflower, a friend of mine actually, he told me about it, and I'm like, yo, dude, we should have had these years ago. This seems like a locked formula, and we gave them a go and got like terrible results. So once again, autoflower doesn't mean easy. I think there are some varietals that are obviously more beginner friendly than others, but I would also just say, if you've got the time and you've got the space outdoors, or even if you don't have much space, say a balcony or something like that, you can still do one decent photo period and have a little bit more leeway than maybe an autoflower, and maybe try an autoflower a couple attempts down the line. But on that, Luke, what are autos for me have been super susceptible to. My main issue has been stunting. The first 2 weeks is everything in an autoflower grow. What tips would you give to someone who's growing an auto specifically to maybe that first month period of time, if they're trying to get good results?
Yeah, I think the initial seedling phase is super, super important for autoflowers. I think a lot of the stunting that does happen to a lot of us as growers happens there. So making sure that you've got a humidity dome over it, you're keeping your humidity level in and around the leaf mass of the plant, quite high. Overwatering and underwatering, once again, with any plant, you're going to stunt it by doing that. So sort of having a look at your soil moisture content and monitoring that, and making sure that that is as stable and maintains that stability is very important. And then also planting your seeds directly into their forever home with Autoflowers. I recommend this. There are some strains, as you said, that are a lot more forgiving and friendly with transplanting autos as well, but it's a gamble. So that is one thing that I would say as well. So just watch your humidity levels, how much you're watering, so your soil moisture content. And then I wouldn't recommend transplanting unless you've worked with that genetic before and you know that it's not going to stunt.
Amazing. Couldn't have said it better myself. So guys, I think you've gauged, Autoflowers, or our opinion on Autoflowers is that they definitely do have a place. Over the last couple years, I only discovered Autoflowers maybe 5 years ago, but over the last couple of years, we've seen them coming in leaps and bounds, and I definitely do think they will have more of a place in the industry in the future. But right now, that's still, I'd say, the sort of mid-experimental phase on Autoflowers. You're getting differentiating results. Also, you can't keep a mama of an auto, so the breeding also has certain complexities, which we'll touch on later and have touched on in the past. But we hope you guys enjoyed our content today on the Autoflowers. Thanks again for watching. To those of you who made it to the end, we really appreciate you guys watching it all the way here. For those of you who aren't, remember to like and subscribe. And till next time, guys, peace.